This is the Phillies Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Philadelphia Phillies. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right. Let's see here. Shutout twice in this series. That's fun. They lost their second consecutive series after going into this road trip, not having lost a series at all in the very young portion of the season. Let's not lose sight of that. It's very early in the season, right? Zack Wheeler got gotten to in this loss. And actually, my buddy Corey Simon there is pointing out that it's the first time since June 25th and July 1st of 2023 that Zack Wheeler has gone back-to-back outings without a quality start. That's 50 starts in between. Yeah, it's worrisome. I wish I could pull out something here that was positive, and the only thing I can think of is that I do feel that the Phillies are better than this. I certainly feel that the Phillies have a better baseball than what we have seen on this road trip, but dropping 4 of the 6 games on this road trip against the hapless Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals, I expected the Phillies to go out there and, win both these series at least, and unfortunately that wasn't the case. And what reared its ugly head was bad pitching and awful offense. Like, pretty much our worst fears coming true, particularly in this series against the Cardinals, where, again, they were shut out twice. And I heard T-Mac references. And this was a big point of pride of the Phillies last year. And I remember this. 5 shutouts last year by the Phillies. 5 shutouts in all of last year. Phillies got shut out 5 times. Now 2 in a weekend in St. Louis. But now they got the Giants. So it doesn't get any easier. And that's going to be a 4-game series. Whoopity-doo. We're going to have so much fun with this. Alec Bohm is completely lost. Just state the obvious for a second. Completely lost. The numbers are atrocious, but let's just forget about the numbers, forget about the stats for a second, and just what do you see from Alec Bohm? What do you see from the guy? We know what the numbers are, but what do you see from the guy? I see a guy that is just digging himself deeper and deeper and deeper into this slump. He's had a day off, hadn't done anything for him, nothing, done nothing. He had a little ground ball perfectly placed in yesterday's win. Oh, maybe that gets him off. No, gets into his final at bat of the game yesterday, and he just shows the frustration again, like he can't get out of anything. Hey, look, I say it every show now. I try not to be a body language expert, at least pretend to be. But this is a guy that is going up there at the plate with no plan whatsoever, and he thinks he's going to swing his way out of this slump. That's not. If you're in the struggles like you are right now with Alec Bohm, that's not how you get out of this. Oh, keep swinging. Yeah, not at every pitch. That's not how it works. You wait. Wait for the mistake and then hit the mistake. Don't try to force the issue. There's actually Walker's home run in this game was a perfect example. He went up there with a plan. First pitch, I'm going to get a first pitch fastball. I'm going to put a barrel of the bat on it, and I'm going to knock it out of the park. Exactly what he did. Alec Bohm goes up there. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's anticipating. I don't know what his strategy is. I know his approach and overall desire is to go up there and hack away and be aggressive, but that really hasn't worked out for you there, Alec Bohm. And you see him go up there again today, and he misses a curveball that is low in the zone and ends up flying out. That has become the norm with Alec Bohm. That has become the norm. And one of his better at-bats of the game actually came, I think it was in the 4th inning maybe, where he hacked at the first pitch, fouled it away, go figure, and then actually worked a full count. And that was a good thing to see him at least get a full count in an at-bat. But again, it came up empty. I don't know what Kevin Long's telling this guy. I don't know what Rob Thompson's telling this guy. Dave Dombrowski, I don't know. I don't know what they're telling him, but it ain't working. It's almost like, hey, wait for a 2-strike count. Wait till you're down 0-2, and then you can start swinging. Maybe that'll be the case. There was one situation, he was actually up in the count 2-0, and I think he actually chased a curveball. Yeah, he chased a curveball low in the 7th inning, flew out to center field, and it was one pitch, and it was away. And why does he think he's going to get first pitch fastballs all the time? Does he think he's going to get grapefruits all the time? I wish I could say I was watching a guy that, you know what, he's going to get through this. And, I know that Alec Bohm's a much better ball, but you're talking about a guy that hits 274 to about 280 the last 3 seasons. You're talking about a guy that's been an all-star. You're talking about a guy, and I'm not saying that 20 home runs is anything special. It certainly isn't anymore, but he has hit 20 home runs in his big league career. He's 28 years old. He's been a clutch hitter really throughout his career when it comes to runners in scoring position. I know he's better than what we're seeing right now, but I'm also not seeing any signs of him breaking out of this. Even, literally, we have seen little signs that have led to no production. We saw him hit the ball hard in the first game of this series. We saw him hit the ball hard in the last game in Atlanta. Nothing. Then we see him actually get a hit, albeit an infield single that just eked onto the grass there in shallow left field, and he beat it out yesterday. And then right back into the, no better term, right back into the swing of things, no pun intended, for today. It's a hopeless situation right now. The only hope that's there really is just, all right, this guy has been better than this through the vast majority of his career. How about we get back to that as soon as possible? He's had the day off. Maybe another one. You thought against the lefty today he'd go out there and do some bopping, and not the case for Alec Bohm today. Absolutely atrocious. And it's not just him. It's everybody in the lineup. And I know that you can look at the strike zone today and say that it was bad, but it was bad for both teams. And it was Zack Wheeler. Oh, my goodness gracious. Zack Wheeler had a couple of high strikes that were strikes. They were up in the zone, called balls today. Adam Beck behind the plate. But again, it did go both ways. Very disappointing series, obviously. Very disappointing road trip. Seeing guys continue to go down the tank on this Phillies squad is not a good thing. And when you talk about 3 big things, I can certainly talk about Zack Wheeler struggling in back-to-back starts now. I can certainly talk about Alec Bohm continuing that downward spiral that he is in with no real signs of being able to crawl out of this. And then also talk about the fact that the Phillies might have been the quarter in the machine for the Atlanta Braves to get them going, and then also losing a series on the road to the St. Louis Cardinals that a lot of us thought was going to be a bounce-back game. And I made the point after game 1. Against the St. Louis Cardinals saying, oh, we know they got back at there at 3:20 in the morning or 3:40 in the morning. They got into St. Louis 3:40 in the morning after that long final game there against Atlanta, the 2-hour, 45-minute rain delay, and they went into 11 innings, and they get in there late. Yeah, I would consider that to be an advantage to the Cardinals if I didn't see a lot of the mistakes made in game 1 of this series made really throughout the last 3 years of this core Phillies team, and then see them again in today's game. So they bookended it with just atrocious offensive performances. And this one in particular had a really bad defensive and pitching approach in this game as well. What I mean by that, Zack Wheeler, was he getting squeezed? Sure. Was he getting frustrated? I hope not to the point where he was getting hit around. But the big point in this game, we could go ahead and we could call it our turning point of the game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Turning point of this game for me was absolutely the 6th inning. Now, the Phillies were already down in this game 2-0, unfortunately, but 2-0 when you still have Kyle Schwarber in the lineup and Nick Castellanos, Bryce Harper, and these guys, you feel like, you know what, that maybe they can still break out of it at 2-0. All right, you get a runner on, you get a home run in a tie game. The minute they get 3-4 down, that's where I start to be a little bit concerned. And that's exactly what took place in the 6th inning, because this is when you just kind of knew that this one wasn't a game that the Phillies were going to pull themselves out of. So what do we see go down in that 6th inning? We see Zack Wheeler take out to the mound there. He's at 72 pitches to start the 6th inning. Not terrible by any means for Zack Wheeler. Burleson goes up there, records the first out, a little ground out to first base. Good play by Bryce Harper. Then Donovan steps up to the plate, hits a ball down the left field line that I originally thought, and I heard T-Mac say this as well on the broadcast, I originally thought that Brandon Marsh slid into the baseball, missed it with his glove, and it either hit off his foot, his knee, and then bounced into foul territory for the ground rule double. What actually happened was Brandon Marsh just missed it. He just missed it. Went into a slide, hustled his butt off to get there for this particular play, missed it, bounces on the warning track and into foul territory, into the stands for a ground rule double. Good effort on that particular one by Brandon Marsh. Then Nolan Arenado steps in there. He hits the straight-up double, if you will, getting a sweeper there across the middle of the plate. Makes it a 3-0 ball game. Contreras steps up there, lines out to center field. Gorman steps up and gets the second ground rule double of the inning. This one for an RBI, excuse me. This one's for an RBI. It makes it a 4-0 Cardinals lead. Now, this one with Brandon Marsh, I had a little bit of a problem with. And here's my problem with it. I don't know if he thought this ball, which was just barely fair, I don't know if he thought this ball was going to go and bounce in foul territory. I don't know if he thought this ball was going to go in the stands. If so, dude, it doesn't matter. But I went back just because, like, first thing I noticed was Marsh, he's faster than that. I thought he'd make somewhat of a play on that ball. So I went back at the end of the inning, and I went back and watched it, and I'm like, he's lollygagging it. He is totally lollygagging it to the line. I think he almost had the ball that was hit harder and deeper there in left field, deep left field in the corner there that he first missed. And then this last one, he's not there. He runs a lot better than that. Didn't look like he took a bad route. Just looked like he was not fast at all to the baseball. Ended up costing the Phillies and ended up being another run. And then Walker steps up to the plate to fly out to left field. That time, Brandon Marsh is right there to make the play. So that one was troublesome. That sixth inning, to me, without question, was the turning point of the game in favor of the St. Louis Cardinals. Phillies, though, here's what I look at. Third inning, and you talk about the numbers. I talked about the numbers already. You dropped 2 of 3. You dropped 4 of 6 on the road trip. You did a blank twice in the series against the Cardinals. Well, how about this one? Third inning, Bryce Harper gets a single to left field, a 1-out single. All right, I got to cook something up here. He gets on to second base. How about that? Kyle Schwarber's at the plate. You got, how about this? You got Bryce Harper there at second base. You got a runner in scoring position. You got 1 out. You got the meat of the order coming up, baby. Kyle Schwarber strikes out on a 3-2 slider. Nick Castellanos did not like the strike zone at any point today, but this particular pitch was right on the corner. It was a 3-2 fastball at the knees, a little in, but it was a strike, and he ends up going down looking at that one. So the Phillies leave a runner stranded in scoring position, which they had with 1 out. That Bryce Harper hit was the last time the Phillies would have a base runner the rest of the game. 20 straight batters retired by St. Louis Cardinals pitching. Now, does that drive me banana sandwich? It drives me banana sandwich. In that third inning, the Phillies saw 18 pitches. Fourth inning, they saw 8 pitches. Fifth inning, they saw 10 pitches. Sixth inning, they saw 13 pitches. Seventh inning, 11 pitches. Like, what? Is there any plan here? And then in the ninth inning, it's just like, can they get it? They could not have ended that inning fast enough. They just want to get home. Is what they want to do. Oh, my goodness gracious. It was absolutely abysmal seeing the Phillies start this game and play the rest of the way that they played today. I wish I knew the buttons that Rob Thompson could push, but man, oh man, it seems like they need a hell of a lot more buttons. When you talk about 2 holes, giant gaping holes they have in the lineup in Brandon Marsh and Alec Bohm right now. And I don't know what defibrillator needs to be brought in to get either of these guys going. But I'll tell you right now, I got a hell of a lot more confidence in Bryson Stott at second base. I got a hell of a lot more, or shortstop. I got a hell of a lot more confidence in Edmundo Sosa getting there to third base. But Alec Bohm right now, like this, if Bryce Harper is going to go out there and confirm trade rumors of Alec Bohm from the offseason, well, then this guy, is already on a short leash if the club was really looking to deal him. If he's going to start out struggling this much, you got to sit him down again. Because he has shown you that he is not at all going to find another approach at the plate. Swing his way out of it is not the way to do it. I don't know what this team's telling him, but it's time to sit down again. Last time it didn't work. I'm hoping this time it does. Because what are you going to get for Alec Bohm right now? You think another club is going to just be like, well, change of scenery? I mean, after all, he hates that bleeping place. He'll come over here and he'll hit, over 300 and 350 on base percentage, and he'll hit 25 home runs for us. I don't think anybody's going to look at it like that. So they still need to get him going if you want to unload him. But without question, the guy that deserves to be in this lineup is Edmundo Sosa. We'll talk more about that when we return. We'll also officially name our player of the game and what you're kicking around tomorrow. Also, you know what else we'll get into? I'll tell you what else we're going to get into. We're going to get into the chat check and see how you wonderful people are doing on this fine. It is a beautiful day. At least it turned out to be a beautiful day. Wasn't so much earlier in the day. And hey, here's the good news. Also, Sixers season's over. So that's good. All right. Well, we'll talk about all that and more when we come back. This is Locked On Phillies Postcast. You guys have heard me talking before about wonderful pistachios. These aren't just good pistachios. These aren't fair pistachios. These are wonderful pistachios. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious? Crack into a good source of protein with wonderful pistachios. Wonderful pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you feeling fuller longer. Personally, I love the no shells variety. It's the perfect grab and go snack on extremely busy days. Had a busy day yesterday. Don't think I didn't have a pack of wonderful pistachios in my satchel. Whether I'm snacking at my desk on a road trip, whatever it might be, Wonderful Pistachios is the way to go. In fact, Wonderful Pistachios is a complete protein, providing all 9 essential amino acids. How about that? How these little green wonders pack a protein punch of deliciousness, I might add. Get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. That's wonderfulpistachios.com. Hey. You got any money? How about managing that money wisely with Monarch Money? You ever check your bank account from time to time and go, where'd the money go? That's where Monarch Money comes in. Been dining out a lot lately? Maybe that's where the money's going. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, though. Oh, no. It's a complete financial command center that you can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So you stop just managing your money and start building wealth. When I started using Monarch Money, I realized just how much money I spent on takeout, on food delivery, for instance. Yeah, it's convenient, but man, that runs up quite the bill. Instead of juggling multiple apps as well, you can use Monarch Money to check your finances, track spending, and even play long-term. Play the long-term game with long-term goals with Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. At monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB. Taking a look at the lineups today for your Philadelphia Phillies, the way this shaped up, unfortunately, only Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, and Mundo Sosa coming up with hits today. All 3 of the Phillies hits by these 3 players. Kyle Schwarber going down twice, swinging. Nick Castellanos striking out twice, swinging. Also, both those times looking. His average now dips below 300 again this season. Trey Turner takes the 0 for 4. Not great in that regard. Brandon Marsh also struck out twice in today's ball game. As for your pitching, we go back to Zack Wheeler and how much struggles he had today. Again, back-to-back non-quality starts for him. First time since 2023, as mentioned by, or as pointed out by Corey Simon. Corey Seidman of NBC Sports Philadelphia. Zack Wheeler, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, did give up the long ball as well. 89 pitches through 6 innings of work. Matt Strahm did allow a run. Originally, it was credited as unearned, and then he got charged for a run. He struck out 19 pitches there of his work in the 7th inning. Carlos Hernandez, unfortunately, did give up a 2-run home run there in the 8th, and that was pretty much the end of it. Well, the end of it for me was the 6th inning, but not a great showing today, unfortunately, by your Phillies pitchers who did not get any run support by the bats. As for the player of the game,
this is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Liberatore today just took every bit of advantage when it came to the Phillies, keeping them off balance and kept them guessing. He mixed his pitches phenomenally well today. 6 innings, 3 hits. All the 3 hits were given up by him. He also struck out 7, just 88 pitches needed to get through those 6 innings of work. Then Phil Maton came in, Jojo Romero, and then Leahy came in to close it out, needing just 6 pitches. I mentioned that 9th inning was a get me the heck out of here and let me get home inning for the Phillies. just needing 6 pitches to get through that. Romero needing just 9 pitches to get through the 8th inning. Not what you wanted to see from the Phils. As far as what you'll be kicking around tomorrow,
this is what you'll be talking about.
You're going to be talking about the Phillies getting shut out twice in a series, the Phillies losing both series on the road before now having the daunting task of taking on the Giants for 4 games in South Philadelphia. I'll be crossing my fingers that the Phillies are able to do something in this series to breathe a little bit of life back in this season. Now, I mentioned watching some not great baseball. I try to keep in mind my expectations for this Phillies team before the season started. And my expectation for this Phillies team was that they weren't going to have a great April, that they were going to be a middle-of-the-road team as far as their record went, that they weren't going to get out to a 37-14 start like they had at the beginning of last year. As a matter of fact, I was hoping they didn't. So as of right now, the Phillies playing the way they played over the last 2 series, it's a little better for me as far as my prediction went, but I know I'd rather be wrong than have an accurate prediction when it comes to a team not performing well or as well as they're supposed to. Look at the record right now. The 3 games over 500. It's still April. It's 9-6. Okay, that's the record overall. I would much rather watch this team play their best brand of baseball late in the season. It sucks to watch a team struggle like this at any point in the season. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people put it out there, home cooking will help him out. Yeah, I hope so. But this is kind of who I think the Phillies are, and at least who they will be in the early goings of this season, over the first month and a half of the season, before they start to hit a little bit of a stride, maybe do what they have done in years past where they really get hot in June. We got to suffer through a 500-ish April. We got to suffer through a 500-ish May, and then they start turning it on in June. I'll be crossing my fingers for June. Because I will say this. Alec Bohm, to me, is better than what we have seen. I'm not shoving him off the team like some other people, but I know that right now what he's doing can't continue because he in no way, shape, or form looks like a guy that's just all of a sudden going to break out of this without something happening with a benching, a day off, something else. I also think that the starting pitching, especially when it comes to Zack Wheeler, this isn't who he is over the last 2 starts. This isn't who Zack Wheeler is going to be for the year. But I do have reason to believe mostly how the Phillies have played in the month of June to really turn their seasons around, with last year being the exception. I have reason to believe that's the Phillies' track record. The Phillies have given us that reason to believe that. Also, for the people that do want to look at it as, they're still 3 games over 500 in the early goings of the season, it's still better. Yeah, I believe that they're a better team. But for the people that say, this is just a overreaction to losing a road trip. When you watch a team play the way they've played over the last handful of seasons, 3-4 seasons, whatever, you know that this is in them. These awful runs. And you hope this is the beginning of an awful run. Yeah, I hope right now it's just, you lost two series on the road, back-to-back series. Yeah, I hope that's all it is. I hope that's not the beginning of a 500 baseball for the next month and a half. But, excuse me, I know you're going to need more consistency from Bryce Harper. You're going to need any white light from Alec Bohm. And Brandon Marsh cannot continue to be the hole in the lineup that he has been. And by the way, I don't know if you've seen what Logan O'Hoppy's been doing. You could certainly say that he'd be blocked here by JT Realmuto, but they traded Logan O'Hoppy. It wasn't so much that they traded Logan O'Hoppy for Brandon Marsh as much as it was, I thought those years ago they should have traded Logan O'Hoppy for somebody that maybe would have been better than Brandon Marsh, who at the time I thought was just a defensive center fielder, and now he looks like a guy that belongs in the minors. That's what he looks like right now. This is rough. But we'll get through it. We'll get through it together. Let's get into the chat and see how wonderful people are doing on this fine afternoon. Excuse me. Morgan Landy, right on topic here. Can we send Marsh to the minors already? He can't hit, too inconsistent as a fielder, and I blame him for both runs being allowed in the 6th inning. Yeah. Fair enough. Jess Patrick, it gets old when the bats get cold, right? Morgan again. About to shut out 2 times in 3 games. Nola and Wheeler, pathetic. At least we got to play a red-hot Giants team at home this week. Go Phils, right? Phils won. Saw Marsh up to bat until I didn't. Yeah, it was a bit of a quick one. Bit of a quick at bats for him today. Christopher Michael, there's no way we go a full season with this team as is. When they're off, they aren't just bad, they're awful. Shut out twice by the Cardinals is pathetic. Could see this team under 500 this week. It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. I will say Justin Verlander's got hit around the last couple times he's been out there. Evelyn's big three. Why? Number one, why? Big whys. Excuse me. Evelyn's big three whys. Why Marsh in the lineup? Why are we bunting with runners in scoring position and 2 outs? Why we put Clemens in finally only to be the ninth in the ninth with 2 outs? Derp. Don't know. Wish did. Ken, yikes. Guess they were in a hurry to catch the flight. That's what I'm saying. Ken, you and I are on the same page. By the way, here's my... Was that oh, that's a giraffe emoji. Sorry, I haven't seen the giraffe emoji in a second. If I could only tell you the things that were flying through my mind before you wrote that. All right. Strikeout, fly out, ground out, flop on ground. Very good. Go wrong way with a foul ball. T-Mac saying, past diving Bohm. Initiate Farsi rage mode. I don't know. It's really taking it out of me. This team's really taking it out of me already. And yesterday took it out of me. Yesterday was a lot, man. Thanks. By the way, thanks to everyone that watched the show yesterday, despite me being in the media room at the Wells Fargo Center in South Philly. Lost the voice a little bit. They had me announce the entire Wings lacrosse team yesterday for Fan Appreciation Day. A little hoarse. I know it's still early, but Brandon Marsh hitting against lefties is an issue. Well, yeah. I agree with Jeremy. And also the fact that the Phillies are saying, be our everyday center fielder. And he's like, nah, I'm good. Phillies say, hey, be our everyday center fielder. Brandon Marsh, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Jeremy again. Alec Bohm needs to remove his head from his rear end. It's a contract year, and he's not doing himself any favors. He is absolutely not. KC, will they fire Thompson at the All-Star break or the end of the year? They might get the last playoff spot. But we know why. But we know they will blow it up and lose. Probably. Polar Buck, this was so much pain. That was so much painful, but not 16-0 painful. Fair enough. Or 16-0. Yeah. This team outright sucks, says John Messina. ROC 35, ROAC 35. Laugh out loud. This team couldn't hit themselves out of a wet paper bag. There you go. Go Sixers. What's going on? Pat Ryan, I am not a doomer, but this is pathetic, right? Timothy B, far as that, how long will Dombrowski wait until he makes a move or makes moves? He knows he effed up during the offseason. Yeah, this isn't ideal. This is not ideal. You know what I'm saying? Can we send Bohm down? I don't think so. Is this a road slump, says Frederick Klein. I hope so. Let's get that home cooking going. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the home cooking going. Speaking of the home cooking, I'll be back with you guys tomorrow after the Phillies and the San Francisco Giants start things off tomorrow, Monday night, 6:35. Landon Rope is going to take on Taijuan Walker in South Philly. Walker looking to continue the scoreless streak, baby. Lope comes in, a right-handed pitcher. He's 3.60 ERA so far in the season, 12 strikeouts through 10 innings pitched. He's also given up 11 hits in that time with 4 walks. Let's have at it tomorrow, Phillies. Let's get back on the winning track, please, and thank you. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This has been Locked On Phillies Postcast on the Locked On Phillies YouTube channel. I'm Mark Farzetta. Connor Thomas has you covered with Locked On Phillies Daily Podcast, so make sure you guys check him out daily. And then you got me for your postcast needs. Also want to let you know this week coming up, no postcast Saturday. I got a family wedding. I can't miss that, so I will not be doing the postcast on Saturday. So I just want to give you guys the heads up a week from yesterday. Okay. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow night, hopefully after a Phillies victory. See you guys then. Bye.